Welcome back everyone. So as we said, we need to replace any null value in these columns, the measure columns, with the mean value in that column. And for this purpose, we need to have a look and execute this code. First, we are going to create a new variable. We call it units sold mean, because first we are going to calculate the mean for this column, the units sold for this column, equal df, this is our data frame, dot group by dot average, between parentheses and brackets, between parentheses, clean units sold. In other words, we are going to calculate the average of this column by using group by dot average and saving the results inside this variable. So click here anywhere in this cell and execute it. And as you see here, we got the results, the average clean unit sold, and this is the number 5060.071. Now we got the mean as another data frame, but we want to make it as a value, as a single value, so we can replace it here, we can put it here in the column. So we need to do something else. We need to use the same code that we used before, but we need to type after that take 1 parenthesis and 0 0. So this part of code convert mean from a data frame to be as a single value. So we can insert it here in this column. So let's now execute this cell again. And as you see here, we got the same value, but a single value. It's no longer a data frame. So now we can use this value inside our code to insert it in the column. Scroll down here and let's now import another library to use it to insert the new value, the mean value inside our column. And this library is lit. From PySpark.sql.function, we need to import this function. So we need to import lit function from this library. And we are going to create, as usual, another column using with column. Between parentheses, the new column will be units sold. So we are going to use the same name that we used before because we already dropped the original units sold. So after we dropped it, we can use the name here, comma, when df clean unit sold is null, in other words, comma, lit unit sold underscore mean, which is this value. So in other words, we are saying here, when we have any null value in this column, replace it with the mean value using this function lit dot otherwise df clean unit sold. Otherwise, keep the original values. So only in case that we found null value, replace it with the mean. That's it. So let's run this cell. So scroll down to have a look at our data. Now we got a new column here, unit sold. And because in the first 20 rows, we don't have any null values, we don't see the mean. But if we got any null value, it will be replaced with the mean. However, we may find that easier or clearer in this column because we have 2 or 3 null values in the first 20 rows. So let's do the same thing. Let's create a new column, unit price, and do the same thing. But first, we need to create the mean for unit price using this cell. And after that, we are going to use this mean to replace any null value. So let's first run this cell. We got this mean created. And let's run this cell. And let's have a look at our data frame. Scroll to the right. And there we go. As you see here, we have here null value, and in the new unit price, it is replaced by the mean. Same thing here and same thing here. So we successfully replaced null values with the mean of this column. And let's do the same thing for the unit cost. First, create unit cost mean by using this function, and after that create a new column, and in this column replace any null value with unit cost mean. Run this cell first. This is the mean of unit cost 184.6, and let's run this cell again. So in case that we have any null values, now they have been replaced with the mean. We need now to drop the columns that we don't want or we don't need. So because we already got these 3 columns, unit sold, unit price, unit cost, we don't need these 3: clean unit sold, clean unit price, and clean unit cost. And to drop them, we need just to type df.drop and type these 3 columns. And again, we are going to overwrite the original data frame. So let's execute this cell. And as we see here, we already dropped the other columns that we don't need. So now we have only the columns that we need in our data analysis. So what else we need to do? We may have some duplicated rows by mistake. So for example, we may have the same order ID duplicated or entered by mistake here. We are not sure about that, but we can use a very useful and simple function to remove any duplicated order IDs that we might have. That's not going to hurt, but it's going to be useful and give us a better accurate results in case that we have any duplicated value. And that's what we are going to see in the next tutorial.